What's up, you guys? Welcome back to this week's Manga Sutra Manga review, and in this week's video we're going to be talking about a school life horror drama called Seishun Soukanzu. Now, the manga starts off with two third years, Nagasaki Yaoi and his girlfriend Nikaido Haru at a diner discussing plans for future school events. Now, Haru's texting the other classmates. They're all excited and optimistic, saying that they're going to try their best and laughing at jokes at Aoi's expense. However, Aoi tells Haru that they should go public about their relationship to the rest of their classmates since they've been keeping it secret. However, Haru is reluctant and hesitant about going forward and tells Aoi that she needs time to work out some personal issues that she has before going forward with that. And when they spot two other classmates out together, Haru says in an offhand remark that relationships are pain. Now, after sharing this very passionate kiss, Aoi and Haru, go their separate ways. Next school day, Haru's nowhere to be seen. And everybody's too concerned about Haru's whereabouts until cafeteria, where the vice principal asks Aoi, where's Haru? And Aoi has no idea. And since he's still keeping their relationship secret, he pretty much tells the vice principal, yeah, I don't really know her like that, but, we're close, but we're not that close. And then, boom, a body drops into the pond right outside the cafeteria. And it's none other than Nikaido Haru herself. Now, although she fell quite a distance, she manages to survive that fall, but suffers tremendous trauma to her head and goes into a coma. Now, you would think that her classmates would be concerned, that they would send their condolences, that they would visit her, that they would have some type of positive statements to make, or wish her good health, or, to get better, positive wishes or something like that. No. These dickwads pretty much say, if it's an accident, then yeah, I'd visit her, but if it's a suicide, I don't want to be around that type of person. And then another one says, yeah, it's like disobeying your parents or something. I'm not making up the stupidity of these comments. These are statements that these students actually make about Haru. And Aoi notices as well. He notices how everyone was all happy and loving towards Haru not even 24 hours ago. And now everyone is trying to bite Haru's head off. Everyone's trying to make it out to seem like this is all Haru's fault, that Haru's evil, that Haru's the devil, and all this other type of stuff. And Aoi tries to mention that. Aoi brings that up. And Aoi brings up the comment that Haru made about relationships being a pain. And the class, instead of trying to understand where Haru might be coming from and where Aoi is coming from, and possibly even reflecting on their own somewhat very dickish comments, they just simply turn the comment around on Aoi and make Haru look even worse. And then on top of that, another classmate named Hinami comes out with this allegation that Haru had bullied her, called her a fatty, because they both like this same boy band, and apparently Haru told Hinami, you are too ugly or too attractive to be a fan of this band. You should kill yourself, so on and so forth. So, not only are they saying that suicide is Haru's fault, not only are they saying Haru is a bad person, not only saying Haru doesn't obey her parents, but now Haru is this bully. Now, Aoi, he just can't come to terms with that, and he confronts Hinami on it. He calls her on this, and Hinami says, yeah, I believe Haru. I trust Haru. I don't think that she would intentionally do that. But the classmates, they're dead set on making Haru this villain. So they just throw it all on Haru. Aoi, walking back to his locker, he finds a note. He finds a piece of paper with a list of nicknames and pretty much a chart and a graph. And it mentions that the writer is being bullied. It points out the nicknames of two of those classmates that we saw earlier at the beginning of the chapter. And Aoi, he thinks the I'm being bullied part is Hinami. He confronts Hinami with the paper. Hinami doesn't know the nicknames. She doesn't know anything about the paper. And Aoi, he's Aoi is this smooth detector, you know. He tries to get Hinami to write a positive message for Haru to see so that when she wakes up, she will come back to school. Hinami really can't be concerned with writing a message. Hinami really doesn't seem to give two fucks. So Aoi gets the phone, asks her if it's okay. She's like, sure, go ahead. Aoi is like this smart guy. He uses the sentence forming function of the smartphone. How like when you send messages or texts, certain words are saved in a certain order from your previous text to make it easier to formulate the sentence. So he's using die and all of this other stuff, and it turns out Haru never sent Hinami that message. Hinami sent herself that message to incriminate Haru. Aoi confronts Hinami on that. And Hinami said, I did it so I could get popular with the boys. And Aoi just calls her out on her fuckery. He's pretty much saying, you know, you can't depend on the fame of other people or the status of other people. If you want to make friends, if you want to, you know, get to know people, you have to actually do it yourself. You can't just simply do this type of dickish thing to other people. Then, you know, Aoi kind of just vents. This man just vents out all of his frustration at Hinami. And he's saying, I don't even know who the fuck you guys are. The only reason I even like half of you as classmates is because Haru liked you. Haru was passionate about you. And because I like Haru, I tried to like you. And now you're treating Haru like shit, and I'm just trying to figure out why. After figuring out some other pieces of the puzzle concerning the paper and the chart and everything else, Aoi comes to the conclusion that there are 5 clowns. And in the paper, Haru wrote that 5 clowns are going to kill me, or attempt to kill me. Now, Aoi, he is dead set on revenge for Haru. And Aoi comes to the conclusion the only way he can figure this out and figure out who the 5 clowns are is to pretend to be nice, get close to these classmates, and figure out which one of these 38 classmates is one of those 5 clowns. Now, unfortunately for Aoi, you know, he had a really badass moment in the hallway. I'm gonna give him that. He had a badass moment in the hallway. He had a badass moment with that phone. He had a badass moment when he was venting. And he was giving very solid, credible advice that I would stand by. However, unfortunately, the moment he goes right into that classroom with that fake-ass smile, all of those classmates called him out on his shit. Why? Because Hinami was in the broadcasting room. She had intentionally leaned up against the desk, pressed the button so everybody could hear what Aoi was saying on the speaker about them. All of the shit talking and venting Aoi just did towards Hinami, all of them heard that. But they didn't hear Hinami's confessions. They didn't hear her part. They didn't hear her faking the letters or the messages. They didn't hear anything else but Aoi pretty much going on a venting rampage against them, wishing that they would all go away and all this other stuff. So, you know, Hinami walks right past Aoi saying, you know, I'm sorry I had to do that, but I'd rather you be hated than me. Because Aoi was going to go towards the rest of the class with this information that Hinami had forged and faked those text messages and not Haru. And Hinami apparently, in her own absolutely dickish way, she didn't want to face the music, so she'd rather throw the blame on Aoi. When Aoi tries to grab her shoulder, he gets the absolute shit beaten out of him by one of the other classmates, who pretty much goes on his own tangent explaining, you know, positivity and pleasantries don't make the world go round. People unite and unify over poisonous words and toxic speeches, and we all shit talk each other. We all criticize each other. We all do these things, you know. So who are you to judge us for doing all of this stuff? And, you know, Aoi was getting his ass beat. And Aoi was, you know, speaking truth to power here. While he was getting his ass beat, he was saying, yeah, but don't those relationships suck? Don't those types of relationships truly suck? And on the way to the hospital to visit Haru, he had one thing going for him. He said just because the argument is sound, it doesn't mean it's right. You know, just because the guy who was kicking his ass was making a good point that, you know, the world doesn't go around on pleasantries and all this other stuff. And people do have relationships where we criticize each other. We say negative things about each other. But it doesn't mean that we unify over these negative tendencies. It doesn't mean that all of the entire world and every relationship in the world is built off of negativity and built off of bullying and harassment and drama. It's not. And just because the guy managed to say it eloquently doesn't make it any better. However, Aoi, he promises Haru that he's going to get vengeance. And he is willing to become the bad guy to see her smile again. Now, I like Aoi. I like him. I like the way he thinks. I really do want to see Aoi succeed in this manga. However, I have a couple of things that I have a problem with character-wise. One, these two have only been dating for 3 months. I don't mean to sound like an asshole here, but if I've only been dating somebody for 3 months, I'll be damned if I go on a quest for vengeance against these 5 killers, potentially, that I don't know anything about. You know, it's not like Haru's dead. She's in a coma, but she's not dead. And she has the chance of recovering. 2, they really haven't even done anything. Judging from the first chapter, judging from the first few pages of the first chapter, they have only been dating for 3 months. They haven't had sex. They haven't been making out. I don't know what they've been doing in those last 3 months, but it must have been pretty intense for this guy to go on a vengeance quest for his girlfriend who's in a coma that he's only known for 3 months. On top of that, Haru has some dark things going on with her, and I don't like her philosophy of avoiding things that she doesn't like. Personally speaking, I think that's not a healthy way to deal with life. You don't avoid things that you don't like all the time. There's certain things, you know, that you don't agree with, or this isn't really your preference that you do avoid, but to avoid, you know, contrary opinions and contrary facts and all these other different things just because it doesn't line up with your way of thinking, or it doesn't line up with the way you see the world, it's toxic because you kind of close yourself off to this bubble or this box, and you lock yourself into one mindset. And when you do face an opposing force or opposing mentality or philosophy, you don't really know how to deal with it. You don't really know how to process it, and it kind of destabilizes your identity as itself. I have a couple of friends who are all about this positivity. They're all about all of this motivational speaking and motivational stuff and motivational posts and all of this other stuff. And you know me, I'm an optimist from time to time. I'm a pessimist from time to time, but most of the time I am basically a realist. I try to see things as they are, and I don't really think having my head up my own ass in positivity is the way I want to live my life from day to day to day. You know, sadness is a part of life. Depression is a part of life. Negative things are going to happen in life, you know, and I can't just run away from the negativity and, you know, just bathe myself in the positivity and just wrap myself in it and avoid anything that's negative. You know, you have to be able to talk with other people about negative things that you have going on. You have to be able to embrace and confront this negativity in your life and these negative events and conflicts in your life face to face, and not just simply walk away because it's just too negative for you and you're trying to keep some positive vibes. That's not the way I would like to live my life. But tangent aside on that, their classmates are dicks. Like, oh my god, I would not feel any remorse for any of those 38 classmates. They all really jumped on the anti-Haru bandwagon the instant she landed in that hospital for the coma. And it is disgusting. It is disgusting that they would even think that way. It is disgusting with some of their statements that they made about Haru. And it just really shows this sheep-like mentality that a lot of people have. But, you know, you would think, this is a horror manga and this is a drama. So, of course, this stuff is taken to, another level. So it's not really something that you would encounter in real life. But in reality, people are exactly like this. People are willing to change their opinions of other people overnight, instantly, just because someone else feels a particular way about it. And people are willing to bandwagon on certain topics, certain issues, certain events, certain people, and people really can't think for themselves half the time when it comes to those type of things. And instead of actually looking at the facts and looking at everything from a neutral, unbiased standpoint, people really like to jump on and latch on to things. And I don't like that. Art style wise, Seishun Soukanzu, I'm being honest here, I've read a lot of horror mangas. Jinro game, Osama game, a couple of other of these horror type games where it's like, guess who the killer is, guess who the antagonist is. And, the art styles are all starting to look the same to me at this point. At least, there's nothing really special about Seishun Soukanzu from an art style standpoint. I wouldn't say it's awful, because as the chapter went on, the art style was pretty crisp to me. But then again, it reminds me of Jinro game, Osama game, and a lot of these other horror games, or horror manga genre series like this, where you have to find out who's the antagonist, who's the one secretly being the mastermind behind all of this. And it gets repetitive. It really does. And it's tiresome. But I do like the element that there are these 5 clowns. I actually did like how, Aoi had his badass moment, but then, he hit a brick wall, which is reality, and all of those classmates beat his ass. So that was definitely an interesting turn, because I didn't really want to see Aoi walk up in that classroom with that fake smile, acting like he forgave them and got over all their negative comments about Haru. That would have been predictable. What wasn't predictable is the fact that that speaker was on and everybody heard him, and they called him out on his fake smile and his fake attitude, and actually fought him. I want to see how he's going to get close to them now, because now whoever these 5 clowns are, they know that Aoi hates their fucking guts. Whoever these 5 clowns are, they know that he's out to get them. The rest of the classmates know that he hates their guts, and that is definitely going to be an interesting dynamic going forward. The plot is pacing itself really well. I can't really wait to see what else is going to be going down in this series. This is VM. Would I recommend Seishun Soukanzu? Yes, I really would. If not for Aoi's, just raw integrity and honesty, then maybe just for the fact to see who these 5 killer clowns are and exactly how Aoi is going to get close to them at this point. Because it's kind of like trying to hunt an animal, and the animal already knows that you set up a trap for it. The animal already knows that you're hunting it. It's not going to fall for the same trap twice. It's not going to do that. So what is his new tactics that he's going to do to get close to them? I'm thinking he's really gonna just say, screw the niceness, screw the fake smile, and I think he's just gonna throw them all into a survival game where they have to pretty much reveal truths about themselves that is very unflattering and makes them look like villains to the rest of their group, and make them slowly turn on each other, and then, figure out who the 5 clowns are from that. But this is VM. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.